Hi, soulmate. I'll be teaching us how to make this trending boo gown. Okay, so let's dive in quickly. To know the material you measure, you will have to divide your shoulder by two, which is, let's say for instance, shoulder of 16 inches divided by two is 8 inches, plus your 3/4 sleeve length. Let's say that should be 16 as well. That's 8. Add the two together will give you that would be 16 inches altogether. So you multiply that 16 by 2, which is 32. So you measure that 32 inches on your ankara and divide your ankara into 4. So that is how to know what you'll be measuring, right? So what are we doing next? How you will now measure, if you are making our design in front, get the material for your design, okay? Then place it on your ankara. Then you start measuring your neckline. So the neck width is 5 inches. So I measured 5 inches for the neck width of the back, and I also measure 5 inches for the neck width of the front. Remember, I'm using the plain material for the front for the front. All right. Okay, so for the front, I'm using the length of 5 inches and the width of 5 inches. Okay, so after measuring, I roll it out, and I connected it to the width. Okay, because it's going to be an asymmetric neckline, so that is why you see me slanting. So by the time I open it, I will be getting my asymmetric neckline. So all what I've just done is just to measure your neckline. Okay, then I came down um around the waistline, around the waistline and I marked 4 inches. Remember, the neck width is 5 inches and around the waistline is 4 inches, so that we can have a perfect sleeve. But remember, this ankara, I cut the half length. We are first of all cutting out our half length. We are working on our half length first. Okay, so by the time I cut the ankara, I cut, I make sure I folded it into 4. It is not, mind, remember, I want you to remember that it's not going to have any joining at the shoulder. All right, so you cut it as if you just want to cut a buba. All right, so you fold it into 4, put your plain material for the front design there, and you cut out your neckline. Then what I'm about to do now is I'm loosening it up, because the plain material is meant for the front neckline, while the ankara, I cut out the back neckline on the ankara. So for me to perfect my front neckline, remember I told you it is an asymmetric neckline. Okay, so I have to open up the front. Okay, so after opening up the front, remember, I used the back neckline to cut out. I cut out the back neckline on the ankara. So I want to differentiate for the front. So that is why I'm placing the plain material back on it. Okay, so that I can align the plain material with the front neckline. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say here. Okay, so now the width of the neckline is 5 inches. So I need to connect it to the neckline of the back. All right, so if you take notes properly, you'll see this is like in form of the neckline of a buba, but it's just that the front neckline we have to come down a bit. So that is just what I'm trying to bring out here. And also the front is going to be a four corner neckline, while the back is curved. So that is why I have to do it this way. All right, so I'm notching the center of the front. This is the center front I'm notching, so that by the time I open it up, I'll be able to cut out my asymmetric neckline. You can see after cutting it, I folded it the way it should be. So we have the front neckline separate and the back neckline also separate. Okay, you may not be able to see it properly here because the Ankara it's not helping that. Okay, so I'm also notching where the shoulder line is. All right, but we'll get to see the neckline properly. So I need to open up the plain material so that I can now cut out the asymmetric neckline for the front. Okay, remember I have ruled it already there, but I'll still be ruling it to make sure it aligns properly. Okay, so I open up the plain material and make sure it is properly placed on the Ankara. Okay, so remember I first of all cut the front neckline in a four corner shape. So to get an asymmetric, I have to open it up and slant it to one side. So I'm slanting it to one side and making sure it aligns. Then I'll be cutting out the one side that is being slanted. Okay, so you can see, you can just properly view what I'm cutting out. You can see it's a one side slant, and that side I came down by 1.5 more inches so that one side comes down more than the other side. So that is what gives you an asymmetric square shape neckline. So for the plain material, I added net on it. Then I used gum to place it, fix it properly on the Ankara. Okay, so the gum is just to place it properly. So at this point, you go ahead and cut out your facing. So I cut out my facing just the way it is, no joining, and then I sewed it around the neckline. Okay, all right. So after doing that and making sure your the plain material is properly fixed, I'll now be using bias to tape around the design we have at the front. Also with the neckline, with the back neckline, you can see that. So you can see the neckline now. The bias has made it obvious so you can see it properly. All right. So at this point now, from the center front around the waist, just mark out where you want your pleat to be because we are moving to the down part of our bubu gown. Okay, so for this one, for this measurement, I marked out 10 inches at the right side, 10 to the left side, and I'm doing the same thing for the back as well. So what I'm doing here, I calculated the waist to know what you are going to cut out for the down part. The waist divided by 2. Then you add as much material as you want so that will be enough for you to pleat. Okay, so that is just the measurement I wrote out there. So for me, I added 20 more inches to the, if your round waist is 40 inches, all right, you add 20 more inches to it. That's what I did. So that 20 more inches is what I'll be pleating at the center, only at the center. All right, then you stop where you mark, where you notch for your pleats to extend to. All right, so this is, and that's what I've done. What I did for the front is also what I also did for the back. Okay, all right, so by the time you pleat, you make sure it aligns with the front, and the top and the down part aligns. Okay, so after that, you fold your gown into two. You place them on each other properly. So what we are going to do here is to cut out um our sleeve. We are preparing to properly cut out our sleeve. The sleeve, the armhole, the armpit curve, But for this, because it's a boo gown, I marked out 26 inches. That's the hip line. Just mark out, measure your hip line, rule it. That's where I want the sleeve to extend to. Okay, so I marked out my hip line, and I come in by 5 inches, because I'll be folding the sleeve by 2 inches, so that we have like 3 inches left. Okay, so when you come in by 5 inches, then you make a curve there at the meeting point, and you slant it down. If you want it to have a A shape, for this I want it to have a A shape, so it is slanted. But if you don't want an A shape, you can just roll it straight down. Okay, all right, so remember to put your curve at the meeting point around the hip. Okay, put your curve there. So if you can't see the chalk, the way I'm cutting will make it clearer to you. Okay, so I'll be cutting this out. You can see the curve. All right, so our sleeve is now obvious. Our sleeve is now obvious. Okay, so what we'll be doing next now is to go and top stitch and hem our sleeve. So what I did for that other side, I'm doing for this side as well. So just repeat the same, you repeat the same process to the to both sides. Okay, making sure they align properly, especially around the waistline where there is a cutout. Make sure they align. All right, and measure your hip line coming by 5 inches, rule it, and make a curve. Make a curve, slant it down. If you want a hair shape, it's just the same process like the other side that I just explained now. Okay, all right, so I'll be cutting this side out as well. All right, so if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please subscribe so that you can always get the teaching that will transform your sewing um career. All right, so like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so when we are done with our cutting, so this is what we'll be doing next. You open it up, you fold the 2 inches meant for the sleeve hem line, and you top stitch. So I've gone to do that, you can see it. So we are left with like 3 inches for our armpit curve. All right, so what is next for us to do is to join it. After joining it, we already have our gown in place. What I'm now trying to do here is I'll be creating the armhole. So I measure 12 inches for the armhole. You first of all measure your shoulder. So when you get where your shoulder is, then you will come down there by 12 inches. But if you don't want it wider, you can make it 10 inches. Okay, all right, so just mark that your armhole, the armhole length, then pin your fabrics down and slant it down to where the sleeve curve is starting from. Okay, so because we are going to be stitching it there, we'll be stitching it so that that place will not, our body will not be revealing when wearing it, and it can also give us a kind of a design there. Okay, so I pick up my ruler and I ruled from the armhole length down to where the sleeve is starting from. So I'll be doing the same for both sides. All right, then I'll go and stitch it up just to close that side. So the next step for us is to now sew our inner belt on around the waist. Remember where we mark the 10 inches, we measure to the right side, 10 inches to the left side, where our pleat started from and where it ended. So you add your belt, make it long enough that can be tied to the back and to the front. You can see it. So this is the inner side. I've turned the material inward, and you can see how I stitch it. So we have 4 belts, 2 at the back and 2 at the front. So this will enable us to be able to tie it after putting it on the gown. So you tie it inwardly. The 2 belt at the front, you tie it inward to the back, and the one at the back, you tie them to the front. So it will be giving you this design. If you are here to subscribe, please subscribe, like, and share. I hope you love what you are seeing. I hope you love it. You can see how beautiful, how classy, and how elegant it is standing. Please like, share, and subscribe. All right. I would like to see you in my next video. Remember to give us a thumb up and drop your comments, drop your questions. I do answer questions in my on my page. So if you have anything you want me to explain to you, kindly drop your questions. I'll be glad to do that. All right. Okay. See you in my next video. I love you. Catch ya.